Hello, in this video I'm going to cover extra practice 3 from tutorial 1. So here is a question. We need to use the previous result to prove those two statements. By previous result statement, this inequality that we proved in the last video. Alright, so let's have a look at what we need to prove. So let's focus on this first. Let's call it part A, okay? So if you look at part A, what you need to prove, I'm gonna rewrite it a little bit. This is the same as x plus 3y over 4 is greater than or equal to the fourth root of xy cubed. Okay, so if you look at this inequality and compare with what's given here, okay, compare those two inequality, you can see that if we let y, z, and w here be equal, then we have this already. Okay, so this is simple enough. I hope everyone can see this. Let's let y equals to z equals to w. Then from part 2, we have x plus y plus y plus y over 4 is greater than or equal to the fourth root of xy cubed. Okay, y plus y plus y will give us 3y. So our proof is complete already. So the first part should be simple enough. The harder one is part B, the second part. Again, let's have a look at what we need to prove. So this inequality, which has only 3 terms, is what we need to prove. As you can see, this is really similar to AGM, and it's really similar to part 2. Now, how do we even approach this? Well, if you just observe those two inequality, I don't think you know exactly what to substitute, unlike part A, but we can work it out a bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with part 2. Let's write it down. Over 4 is greater than or equal to the fourth root of xyzw. I'm gonna write it as xyzw to the power of 1 over 4. Okay, so this is what's given. Now I'm gonna continue and I'm gonna simplify it a bit so that we can reach to this inequality. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move 4 to the other side, and I'm gonna move, okay, let me use another color. I'm gonna move 4 to the other side, and I'm gonna move w to the other side. So it looks more like what we need to prove here, because on this side we only have x, y, and z. Now let's just do this. Move it to the other side, we'll have x plus y plus z is greater than or equal to 4 times xyz w to the power of 1 over 4 minus w. Now let's go back and check what we need to show. So let's write it exactly like what we have here. This is x plus y plus z is greater than or equal to 3 times x plus times y times z to the power of 1 over 3. Okay, so our biggest problem here is to convert this form to this form. Okay, well, right now my biggest concern is that here we have 1 over 4, well, up there we have 1 over 3. Or so we have xyz here, while down there we have xyzw. So I'm trying to fix that first, okay? So think about this. In order to make xyzw to the 1 over 4 to xyz to the power of 1/3, we can do something about w. We can make it equals to something such that we have this. Alright? Now think about it. Well, we always have xyz, so w is gonna disappear. Well, what do we need this whole thing to be in order for this whole thing to be 1 over 3? Well, think about that. You'll see that we need this to be xyz to the power of 4 over 3. Alright? If this whole thing becomes xyz to the power of 4 over 3, then if you take the power of 1 over 4, you will get xyz to the power of 1 over 3. If you realize that, you'll see that, whoa, right now my goal is to turn xyzw to xyz to the power of 4 over 3. How do I do that? This should be simple already. We can let w be xyz to the power of 1 over 3. Okay? I hope this makes sense for you so far. Okay? If it doesn't make sense, I will explain why. How do we get this? Okay? Think about this. You have, if we let this to be xyz to the power of 1 over 3, you have xyz times xyz to the power of 1 over 3. So here is power to the power of 1. Here is power of 1 over 3. So you add them together. 1 plus 1 over 3 will give you xyz to the power of 4 over 3. Okay? That's how it works. Now, well, I found that I just need to substitute w to be xyz to the power of 1 over 3. Okay, so let's do that. Let w equals to xyz to the power of 1 over 3. Then what do you have? You have x plus y plus z is greater than or equal to 4 to the power of 4 times xyz times xyz to the power of 1 over 3, whole thing to the power of 1 over 4, minus xyz to the power of 1 over 3. This will give you, well, xyz times xyz to the power of 1 over 3 will give you this. And this, let's write it down, to the power of 1 over 4. So 4 and 4 cancels out. This will give you 1 over 3. So this will give you 4 times xyz to the power of 1 over 3 minus xyz to the power of 1 over 3, which will give you 3 times xyz to the power of 1 over 3. Alright, I wrote some extra steps to show you how it works, but a lot of steps are unnecessary, so we can skip this one. I'm gonna delete it so that we have more space. I think this should be clear. Alright, now what you can do is you can divide by 3 on both sides, so this will give you that's exactly, oops, it's cubic root, not square root. Right, so this is exactly what you need to prove.